Hey stinky friends, welcome back to another video. For today's video, I have a slightly different take on self-care that I would like to share with you guys. For me personally, the traditional view of self-care, like bubble baths, face masks, that kind of stuff, is great, but it doesn't really get to the root of the issue usually. And don't get me wrong, I love those things. I love skincare, I love taking baths, but if these other things in my life are not taken care of, or I haven't spent time trying to organize them, I can't really enjoy those other forms of self-care. When I was compiling this list, I tried to make it as accessible as possible for everybody because I know that... You good, Squid? I know that everyone is in a different place in their life, and that is okay. I think that you can apply all of these different things to your own life in a way that makes sense to you. I'm gonna jump right in and talk about the first one, which is the scariest one to me, and that is finances. And the reason I think finances are so scary is because no one really talks about them. It's like a taboo subject to talk about. Meanwhile, I love talking about finances and taking those ideas and applying them to my own way of doing things. I just have a few tips that have completely changed the way that I do my finances. I wish that I had done a long time ago. So the first one is, if you don't already, put your savings into a high yield savings account. So that means banks like Ally or SoFi that have a higher interest rate for your savings account so that you actually are making money off of your savings just being in your account. My second tip would be to I need to take advice from someone who can't even speak a sentence. My second tip would be to put as much as you can into a retirement account, like a Roth IRA or something similar. It doesn't matter if it's a huge amount, just as much as you can to set yourself up later in life. My third tip for finances would be to spend money on things that you care about and try not to overconsume. There's a big push right now, I feel, for ending this overconsumption that we see constantly on social media. Like everyone's always pushing, like, look at my Shein haul, look at all the clothes I bought, look at all the stuff I bought, look at these million different plastic containers that I take my stuff out of a plastic container and put it in this different plastic container. And it's just the constant overconsumption. I think everyone's getting tired of it. I know I had to take a good look at my life and realize that I was definitely overconsuming on a lot of things. A couple years ago, I actually made it my New Year's resolution to not buy any new clothes. The loophole in that being that I could thrift clothes. It actually completely changed the way that I feel now when I buy new clothes. Now, instead of just buying whatever I want all the time, I'm actually very thoughtful about what pieces I'll buy, make sure that it's actually something that I will use and have wanted for a while, and I avoid trends. And if you can get a wardrobe that is just like a capsule wardrobe that is timeless and clothes that are really good quality and made ethically, I think that that's a really good start of getting away from overconsumption. Credit cards. I was terrified of credit cards for a long time. I completely avoided it. I grew up in England and it just wasn't as much of a thing over there, and I didn't know how to use them. So for the longest time, I completely avoided credit cards. I now believe that if you use a credit card correctly, it's very helpful and not as scary as I thought they were. And by using them correctly, I mean picking one that fits your lifestyle, paying it off at the end of every month, which means having a good budget and making sure that you don't spend more than you're earning. I won't lie, I'm definitely still very cautious of credit cards. It is hard for me to wrap my head around, like, okay, this is how much I can spend, this is how much I earn. That can be a little bit confusing, but if you get a budget and you stick to it, I think that credit cards can be really, really useful. Setting yourself up financially to have less stress is a great way of taking care of yourself. The second tip for self-care is movement. I think that movement is very, very important, and that you should be moving your body daily in whatever way you can and in whatever way makes sense to you. So that could look like doing some yoga, doing some chair yoga, doing some stretches. It could look like going for a hike, walking, getting your steps in. The main point is to aim to move your body every single day, no matter what that looks like for you. And I understand, as someone who has chronic pain, that some days are harder than others, and that's why it's great that there's such a wide range of movement that you can do. My third topic that I'd like to talk about for self-care is something that I'm quite passionate about, and that is brain on versus brain off activities. The reason why I'm so passionate about this is because for a long time I found myself mindlessly scrolling on TikTok whenever I had a spare minute, just scrolling, watching TV. Like, I was a big consumer of that, and I would always wonder at the end of the day, like, why don't I feel rested? It honestly made me feel bad about myself. That's not saying that these things don't have their time and place, because they absolutely do. I still have days where I sit down and just watch TV or go on TikTok because that's all I can manage, and that is perfectly okay. I'm specifically talking about not doing this every single time you want to rest. I call that brain off activities, like the scrolling and the TV, and then the brain on or the active rest activities would be things like puzzles, crafting, reading, trying new hobbies, like anything that requires some brain to do it. I think that it's just important to be mindful and ask yourself, what do I need today to feel rested? Organization. Organization is so important for my mental health. There is something about just opening up my little planner and writing down the absolute nonsense that I have to do. I just feel so much better about life. But I am a list person. If something happens in my head, I have a list for it on my phone. I have a meal list, a to-do list, grocery list, future plans list. You name it, there's a list for it on my phone. I think that you can make organization work for you no matter what. There are a million different ways. There are digital planners, planners on your phone, on your laptop. By a digital planner is that you can get really cute templates on like an iPad or anything like that you can just fill in. There's also physical planners. That's my personal favorite to use because I love adding stickers to my planner to make it cute and whimsical, because anything that's cute and whimsical I want to do. Whatever your organization looks like, I think it's very important for your mental health and to take care of yourself to be organized. My last tip for self-care is something that I only recently discovered. I'm really excited about it. So it is having a hobby or a goal that's literally just for you. Just for you, not for anybody else, just you. It has nothing to do with your job, has nothing to do with your family or your friends. It's yours. So for me personally, mine is content creating on YouTube. I think it's been really fun learning process. It was completely new. I had to start from the ground. I didn't know what I was doing. I still don't really know what I'm doing, but it's been an awesome hobby to learn and to be creative with. I think that having something that is special to you is really important because it gives you something to think about that isn't like the day-to-day trudge of life. It helps me feel so accomplished in a way that has nothing to do with really anyone else or any kind of work or job. I also think that I enjoy the control aspect of this to a certain extent. Like, this is completely mine. This is my goal. This is my hobby. And I get to completely control what that looks like and how it feels. And I think in a lot of life, we don't get that control over what we're supposed to be doing or what projects we're working on. Some other examples of hobbies or goals that I either am currently doing or I have done in the past: growing a little garden for vegetables and herbs. I think that that's a really exciting project, and it also is great because you get to eat them. It could be writing your own book, even if no one ever reads it, even if it's terrible. I've written some books in the past, and trust me, they're bad. They're so bad. Most of them were written when I was like 15. Those are going with me to the grave. But that doesn't matter. What matters is that you're putting your ideas out there, you're being creative, you have this hobby that's completely your own. And at the end of the day, you can look at it and be like, wow, I really did that. That's awesome. I feel so accomplished. These are some of the ideas that I personally have used in my own life to take care of myself, and I think that that really has helped me be able to relax a little bit more and also make me feel like I have my life together, which really is self-care if you think about it, because taking the time to focus on you, your needs, your wants, and really like what you need from life will help you really discover who you want to be, what you want to do, and what you're capable of. Challenge yourself mentally, challenge yourself creatively, challenge yourself with why is anybody listening to me? Challenge yourself with creative things. And just overall focusing on yourself and taking that time will mean that your face masks and your bubble baths and your skincare will be that much more effective. As always, thank you for watching my videos. If you have any self-care tips along these lines that you have tried and that have really worked for you, please let me know. I would love to try them out, and I'll see you guys again soon with another video. Bye!